So anybody who is trading here, right, and selling with me, 10 pip stop loss. If it stops us out, it's fine. We come and we go again, right? But if it doesn't, listen to me and listen to me well. If it doesn't, and we are allowed to stay in this position, I'm gonna tell you, you're looking at 100+ pip move. You hear what I tell you? You are looking at a 100+ pip move. That is all, right? David says there's another reason you think it could go high. Do you mind explaining? Basically, if you're going to daily, all right, so let's go beyond the daily. There's a clear support bought around 1680. 1680. 1680. Oh, this, right? Okay, right. Right. I think it could, I honestly think it could take the high, drop the shit. Okay, so here's the thing, right? You are assuming, and I don't give you wrong for this, right? But you are assuming that it didn't already take the high. What if that was taking the high? I mean, look at it. What if that was taking the high? And the last one, which is what I'm in, is gold, right? I am in gold right now, right? I am in gold from, I think, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere here, right? And what it's doing right now is actually a little alarming to me, but again, I'm not budging, right? But it did do exactly what I thought it would do. Look at my drawing. Well, look at my drawing. All right, you said I didn't do this. I drew this last night, right? If I take this and I move it, watch that. Watch it. All right, cool. All right. Me personally, I think, well, I've sold it. I think, like I said, I can't really draw it exactly, but I think I sold it from somewhere here, if I'm not mistaken. 10 pip stop loss. Gold is floating. For me, right now, gold is floating. It got to about 100 pips, and it is floating at about 60 right now. Oh my goodness, listen, Olia, here we're going on. We have what we want. We have what we want. You see that? It is now floating at 47. You see that? That is what I want. I want that. All right? I want that to happen. Where the dealer is now beginning to take this red candle and push it up and say, hey, Olia, we're rejecting the low. We're rejecting the low. We are rejecting the low. I like that. You see what that is doing, what that is telling me. I mean, again, I could be wrong. I can be absolutely wrong, and I'm okay with that, right? And my stop loss is not at break even. It is literally right where it is here. I'm going to tell you if I'm taken out. I'm going to tell you, all right, guys, well, it took me out -10. It is what it is. But I'll tell you something, right? I'll tell you something. What is happening here is the dealer is beginning to induce buyers. What is this candle? What do you think this candle is telling the masses? What do you think it's telling the masses? What are we thinking? What are the masses seeing here? Oh, cool. That's what we talking about. Rejection to the law. That's what they're saying. And they'll say things like this because they know that that's what wicks do, right? Or they have an idea of that's what wicks do. But me personally, I stand in my ground. I'm holding my cells, people. I am holding my cells, all right? I am holding my cells on gold. All right, there's a black candle on the 5-minute time frame telling me that, again, traders probably going to be induced by this. That's good. That's what you want. You want them to be induced. You want them to be induced. We have 1 minute till the news. What do you all think? Does anybody disagree with my analysis? What do you all think? Godspeed, everybody. Anybody in anything right now? If you're in anything, Godspeed. Because one thing you have to listen, I advise opening your MT4, MT5, C-Trader if you are in anything, because you have to be ready to close anything if it is slippage is occurring, right? Or does occur. be ready to close shit, right? Be ready to close shit because all kind of things does happen, right? Yeah, I think, I don't know how long again, probably 20 seconds, 30 seconds or whatever. It might even do much if I'm being honest with you, because I'm actually oh my God. All right. All right. Nice. Right. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Don't stop. You're pulling back a little bit. Right. So right there, that is what? 160 pips it gave me almost instantaneously. Now it's at about 120. Could it buy now? I don't know. I don't know. I would not advise it. All right. I highly would advise against that shit. Right. But so let's look at the other pairs while we're waiting. Listen, let's go to gold. This I know this is what y'all want to see, right? Because this is what I want to talk about. But anybody remembers, and I think that you should, but how long, listen, since June, the end of, well, sorry, the start of July, I've been speaking about these sells, or this big gigantic seller's trap, buyer's trap, sorry, on gold, right? And think of how long I've been trying to get this to sell. I even mentioned it. I said, right, on record, I said that every opportunity, every single opportunity I had to sell, I would take it. And I took some, and some made some money. And as you can see here, there would be some that made what? This one is 170 pips. This one is 100 pips. It have one or two in here that made quite a bit. This one, this is a buy, but this, it had quite a bit that was kind of enabling me to capture some of the pips. But there will be some that I was also very transparent about that I would have lost. The beautiful thing is, think about it like this. You seen any red here, as in any red stop loss? Because they're so tiny that it doesn't matter. It's insignificant, right? I have a very unique ability to yield such an aggressive stop loss, even on gold, because of my understanding of the direction. Many people feel like, B, you can't use a 10 pip stop loss. How you do? And then on gold, how are you doing that? It's actually very easy once you know what direction the market is going. Because if the market is going in that direction, it's very unlikely to go against you if you have the direction correct. So all you need to do is find a good entry, and that is it. It kind of come like the train, a train moving. I teach you a lot of analogies this morning, but a train is moving, and instead of stopping at the train station, it just slows down just enough for you to walk alongside it. So it didn't stop it, but it slows down just enough for you to walk alongside it, open the doors, you step in, and as soon as you step in, it shoots off and goes again. It never stops. Think of the market in that same way. The market will never stop for you, but it will slow down enough. If you can catch the direction, it will slow down enough for you to take advantage of that momentum. And that's what I do. And that is why I am able to yield the kind of stop losses that I yield and the kind of risk to reward ratios that I yield. Let's look at what happened in detail, in great detail. So the first thing is, let's kind of outline all of the traps present, right? The first one, I know that the chart is really, really messy, but just bear with me, right? I'm actually going to clean it up probably today or tomorrow, right? The first one is this big gray zone here, right? I trust everybody is seeing that. Is this big, gigantic, this gray zone here. You see how many times the dealer would have tapped this area? How many times have I been speaking about this, right? How many times have I been speaking about this? I've spoken about this in the last month, probably more times than people take trades that I telling you all. I say, listen, it is too obvious, right? It is too obvious. Let me show you all something. I saw something on YouTube. A good way to know if a neighborhood is safe, right? If you're in a foreign country, look and see if there are mothers walking around with their children. Because if there aren't, it's obvious that it's not a good neighborhood. What y'all think about that? Does anybody disagree with that? If for some reason you aren't seeing mothers walking around with their children, it is obvious that it is a bad neighborhood. And if mothers don't trust themselves or their children to be out in their own neighborhood, then why should you trust being out in that neighborhood? It's obvious that something is wrong, right? So you go outside and you get shot or killed or robbed or raped. I don't want to say that it's your fault, but you should have known better, right? Pay attention. Pay attention to the obvious. It's the same thing happening here. It's very obvious that this was a support being created, right? It's very obvious that people would have been trying to buy it. It has also been proven that people were buying it. Listen, there was a signal called in another group, not us, obviously, but there was a dude said, buy gold, buy gold. Right? I even forwarded, one of my students sent it to me and said, this is what a signal group said, buy gold, right? And I can't remember the size. God alone knows the size of the stop loss. But the guy said it was an unforeseen circumstance why gold sold. No, it wasn't. It was a support trap. You understand? And he said, well, it was unforeseen. It was not unforeseen. It was very foreseen, right? It was very much foreseen. For over a month, it has been foreseen. For over a month, I've been telling people gold possible sells. I even said that every opportunity leading up to NFP that gold had to sell, I would take it. And so said, so done. That's the first trap because it's a support trap. Let's look at the second trap. Second trap was also a micro trend line right here, right? So you have, let me use my draw tool so I could kind of show you, right? So the first trap is right here. This is the first trap here, the buyer's trap, right? The second trap is your trend line trap here. Look at this. This is this one here, right? So this would have been the areas in which the masses would have been trying to buy this trend line, right? So they buy this trend line, but then when it breaks the trend line, people, and listen, and again, I've said this, even some of my students fell victim to this, saying that, well, it break the trend, so people will be trying to buy. No, here's the thing. People will be trying to sell. No, here's the thing. You have to remember that even though this trend is broken, the support trap is still very much active. So there would be people who still waiting for it, where they say, well, think about what a mass trader, what a retail trader would say. Well, it break the trend line, but it's still at the support there. So when it get there, we go buy it still, man. Don't worry, that's small thing. Do you know how I know this? Because I used to think like that. I used to do that. I'm telling you, I used to think like that. That even though the trend is broken, you so want to just follow what everybody else does because you think that because everybody else doing it right. Let me tell you, as soon as price hits that support, that is it. That was the end of that. It was from the time price hit that support and NFP was the next day. Listen, I said that even though I could be wrong, doesn't matter. Listen, sooner or later it is going to fall, right? And I was very ready to be wrong, right? Because worst case scenario, I would still be up because again of my risk to reward ratio. In other words, it's like the perfect recipe. I could be wrong and I wouldn't care. I could be right and I still wouldn't care. You understand? So that's the second trap. Let's look at the third trap. And for this, you need to go up. We need to go on a higher time frame, right? So you could see it a little better, right? And that's this. And that's absolutely beautiful. So let's look here now. You have an even bigger trend line, And you also have at the high, even though it's not necessarily an M pattern, in the regard that the third tap would have happened after the creation of the M, it's still a trend line, which means that there are still traders being induced, right? Traders would be induced on the trend line. They're not studying the fact that, listen, many traders don't even know what M patterns are. They're not studying the fact that, well, maybe it's going to drop. Well, they'll just buy it. Let me tell you, there are traders who just say, It's a trend line, buy. It is a trend line, buy blindly. So me being me understanding the way that the market operates and me understanding the way that, the industry operates and the way that the dealer thinks, right? Why not take advantage of everybody who is ignorant enough to not pay attention to basic details and basic data and information and literally get rid of everybody and clear the board and start it again? I mean, think about it. I want every single person listening to this live now, right? Whether it's on YouTube, because I might put this on YouTube. Maybe somebody stole this from me. Maybe they rip it from YouTube. Maybe they rip it from my program. Maybe they sent you the link to whatever, right? And you're hearing this. I want you, it doesn't matter where you're hearing this. I want you to think, if you were the person in control of the market, right? You were the dealer. People call me the dealer all the time. I'm not the dealer. I'm a normal retail trader. I just don't think like one. If you were the dealer and you had the ability to control the market, right? What would you do to get rid of everybody? Wouldn't you make everybody feel like it's going one way so that you can take all of that liquidity and use it for yourself? Don't lie to me and tell me that you're gonna do the noble thing and make people believe that it's actually gonna sell and then actually sell it. That's a lie. That comes like saying if it is you had superhuman powers that you'd be a good person. Listen, let's be real. Everybody, the first thing you have superhuman powers, the first thing you're probably going to do is rob a bank. Let's be honest. You have light speed. The first thing you're thinking about, you could run like the Flash. The first thing you're thinking about is to rob a bank because they can't catch you. The first thing you're thinking about is to go do some shit that you know that you wouldn't get away with as a normal human being. Because you have superhuman powers. You have things that people cannot combat. And that's what the dealer does. The dealer knows that you cannot combat him. You can't do anything to stop him from doing what he's doing. So why not take advantage of it? I'll give you a beautiful example here in Trinidad and Tobago, where I live, right? Born and raised here, by the way, right? Groceries are literally raping people by their pockets right now, right? Let me explain. Groceries are literally raising the prices of normal food stuff, normal items, normal groceries, right? I think somebody said it up to 20-25% on everything. Your bill is 20-25% higher in this time, COVID-19, right? And people complaining and say, well, if we stop going to the grocery, who's going to buy? I absolutely agree, but who's going to stop going to the grocery? Can you stop going to the grocery? Of course not. The groceries know this. So they're going to take advantage of it. Yes or no? And that is the same thing the dealer is doing. The dealer knows that you are addicted to trading. He knows that you don't know the right thing to do. He knows that you don't know how to use the momentum in your favor. So he's going to take advantage of you and do the things to make you feel like something is going to happen when he's going to move it the other way. And the interesting thing about that is if you don't pay attention to the data that is being shown, because they shows it to you, that's the thing. The dealer cannot hide his intentions. Anybody ever think about that? The dealer cannot hide his intentions. He puts his intentions out there by showing us this beautiful trap. He is literally telling us what his intentions are. Listen, I'm painting a support trap. Yeah, listen, the only thing he do is take a megaphone, right? And go in the middle of the town and start to shout, I am making a support trap, people. That's the only thing he doesn't do. But he cannot hide his intentions. But according to David, he literally hides it in plain sight because people don't know that it's a trap. And when they realize that it's a trap, it's oftentimes too late. So you have three traps, all alluding to buys. All of these traps are telling the masses, I should be buying. Retail traders saying, I should be buying. Signal providers who believe that they know what they're doing, telling people that they should be buying, right? Meanwhile, we here in the minority looking to sell. Now, if you know or learn anything about the way that the world works, not just Forex, the minority is oftentimes the people that actually get returns, make returns, right? Get the results. The masses are oftentimes very wrong. The minority are the ones who enjoy life. They get more or less everything. They do more or less everything. In other words, it's kind of like the nice guy finish last kind of way, right? Not saying that's the truth, but I digress. I want us to understand that the majority has been proven time and time and time again that they don't necessarily win, right? They don't necessarily win. And if you understand that and you understand the way that it works, why do you want to think like the majority? Why do you want to think like the people that lose money by buying support and selling resistance? I told somebody last night, I say, actually, no, I told my team last night, I say, if by now you haven't realized, anybody who says that they trade and they trade support resistance, automatically just assume that you should be going the opposite of what they do. Not saying that they're going to lose every time, but I'm almost certain that if you trade support resistance, it's very likely that you're not very consistent because of things like this. And I know what I'm saying. I know that, there would be people who would say, but B, I make money trading support resistance. Kudos to you. You are in the minority. Congratulations to you, but you are in the minority. The masses do not make money by trading support resistance. If you are making money by trading support resistance, listen, kudos to you. Congratulations. I am happy for you. But if you are trading support resistance and you're not making money, this is why. So let's examine what would have happened. All right. On the 15-minute time frame, let me zoom in so that you could see this proper. I had this drawn the night before. Right. I can't even look. I can't even draw the thing properly. I can't even see the thing properly. Right. That's why I had to adjust the chart so that you could see it properly. Right. I had this drawn literally the night before. Right. This squiggly line here. I had this drawn. Right. You could barely see my stop loss. I need to zoom into this too. You know what? Let me remove this. Let me remove that. Right. Look at that. You could barely, just literally barely see where I would have entered. Now, obviously, I would have entered, I would have sold this not because of the resistance, but because of the momentum again, right? And then it broke the trend. This first trend here, it broke that. Also alluding to more sells. People would probably be trying to buy off for the support. It is what it is. I sold it the Asian session of the night before. Boom, right there. And overnight, it would have given me about 100 pips. And then this was NFP, right? This was NFP. I held my position through NFP. And for NFP, it literally gave me what? I closed it, I think at about 290, if I'm not mistaken. I closed it somewhere here. All right. I was actually heading into a meeting so I would not have been able to actively trail. But you can see here now for NFP, it still dropped. It dropped even further. Closing literally right here, closing at about 420 pips for the day, right? From where I would have entered it. Do you realize that? And you'll notice for years I've been doing this. Do you realize that with a 10 pip stop loss, had I kept this trade open, that this is a 1 to 42 risk to reward ratio? 1 to 42. You heard me. It means that 42 times what I would have risked is what I would get back, right? I risk one apple. The market man, the person who sells the apple, say, hey, we're going, and because you risk one apple, I give you 42 back. That is what a risk to reward ratio is. Whatever you risk, whatever you are stand to be rewarded by virtue of the ratio, you get whatever times that back. So if you're risking beans, right? You're risking beans. You risk one bean and your risk to reward ratio is 10, you get 10 beans back if your risk to reward ratio, if you are rewarded. So I risk one bean, I get 10 back. In this case, I risked one bean, I got 42 beans back, right? I closed at 290 pips, which means I closed at a 1 to 29 risk to reward ratio, which is still insane, right? It is still absolutely insane. It is what it is, right? Boom shot now is because the market closed, right? Market closed, and when the market reopened, I said, so I market open right here. Let's go on the 1 minute time frame now because we want to take advantage of basic, basic moves, right? And I said gold possible buys at market open, temporary, right? So market open, cross of moving averages, gold possible buys, right? Boom. And literally temporary. I said, listen, look at market open right here. This is market open, this little perforated line here, right? I wasn't able to capture the buy, but I said gold possible buys. If we were able to capture the buy, I'm just saying, if it did present a red candle, do you realize that right here, that's 10 pips, right? Yes or no? Yes or no? Instantly, right? That's fine. And then, not very long after, I literally changed my bias because of this candle. And I said, looks like gold is ready to sell again. Listen, all of this is on the record. All of this is on the record. Then, boom, interested now in our cells, right? We were interested in our cells right here. Let's see what would have happened. Possible sells, sells seen, gold dropped another, insanely enough, 825 pips from where I said possible sells last night on the record. So 420 pips on Friday and 820 pips on Sunday, Monday, which is a total of about 1,200, almost 1,250 pips. Had I held my position, right? Had I held my position, my original position, this one, had I held this is a total, an insane total of about 1,250 pips, which if I held it and I was able to hold it, because I probably could have, I just didn't have the time to trail it. Had I held this is an insane risk reward ratio of 1 to 125. Meaning, whatever I risked, I would have got 125 back. I risked 1 bean, I get 125 beans back. Where else do you see risk reward ratios like this? I'll wait. Where else do you see risk reward ratios like this? I'm not saying that people don't get trades with 1,000 pips plus, but where else do you see that with a 10 pip stop loss on gold? Where else do you see that? And listen, it's not like I was just buying and selling like I'm crazy, I have put it on the record for over a month, right? I tell people when I am looking at it, when I am interested in it. I am telling people, yo guys, here's what's going on. I'm giving my reasons. I'm not just blindly calling a signal. I'm telling people this is why I'm looking at it because of this. You understand? Trap this. This is a trap. That's a trap. I've been very transparent about it. I've been very transparent about it stopping me out. I've been very transparent about. Listen, I even showcased that last week where I would have taken 2 trades. I think I lost gold once and then I took it again and it made money back, right? It is what it is. You see, the mistake a lot of people make, right? The mistake a lot of people make is that we feel like because we lose, that it makes us less of a trader. But if you understand how I trade and you understand what it is I really do, right? I don't care about when I lose because I know that if I capture opportunities like this, they wipe my losses clean. Clean. Do you realize how many times, right? Assuming, so let's use Friday's trade. 420 pips, we close at 290, right? Do you realize I have to lose 29 times, about 28 to 29 times with a 10 pip stop loss to give back what I made then, right? You hear what I say? I have to lose 20 in a row, I have to lose 29 times to give back what I made then. And then I took another trade last night. I didn't capture the whole 800, but I captured about 420 from it. And I'm cool with that. I'm real cool with that. I need to lose another 42 times. All right. No, sorry, it's 490. My bad. It's 490 pips I left with last night. Almost 500. I need to lose another 49 times in a row to give back what I made last night and Friday together, right? 29 plus 20, no, yeah, 29 plus 49, that's what? So 69, 78. Yeah. 78. I need to lose 78 trades in a row with a 10 pip stop loss to give back what I made on this one trade or these two trades on gold. Let that sink in. Right? So assuming the commission and the spread or whatever, let's say between 76 and 78 trades, right? Because obviously a loss hits harder than a win. A loss of 10 pips will hit harder than a win of 10 pips, right? So let's assume about between 76 and 78 trades I need to lose in a row to give back what I made on these two trades on gold. Let that sink in. All because I understand the trap that was being placed, right? The direction, the true direction of the market, the true intentions of the dealer, and what entry style to use. And you all realize that I'm not really focusing on the moving averages, and I ain't focusing on no stochastic bullshit. I ain't focusing on none of these things. I'm focusing on one thing and one thing alone. What direction is the market heading? That's it. The entry is trivial. There's so many different entry styles you could use. So many different things that you could use to enter. If you understand the direction of the market, it doesn't matter. And that is the chronicles of gold, my friends. And just like that, if I don't want to trade for the rest of the week, if I don't even want to trade for the rest of the month, I could do that. But as you know, I do this because I love it, right? I do this because it's peace to me. It's fun to me, right? So Patso said he listened and it paid off literally, which means I'm guessing that you would have got into the trade last night, yeah? How much did you make? Pips wise. How much did you take? Over 100. Excellent. That's what we're talking about. Understand the direction and you're good. You're literally good. So I hope that you learn something from this, you grab something from this. Listen, this is literally Bitcoin repeated. Y'all remember in November of last year when I was saying Bitcoin is going to buy, Bitcoin is going to buy. When I was chanting, I had you all chanting that. I think I even did it on gold. If I'm not mistaken, I had you all chanting gold is going to sell. It's the same thing in the same trap. It's just in this case, it sells instead of buys. Bitcoin was buys. All right. So here, I want you all to find that. I want to put that in a YouTube video. That gold is going to sell. Right? Find that. Tell me which class it was. I'll find it and I'll do it. I'll put it in the video. All right. But it's the same thing, It's the same thing. It just in this case, instead of Bitcoin buying, it's actually gold selling, but it's the same trap, the same seller's trap, the same regard that, gold is going to sell. Same thing. Nothing changed. Literally. Nothing has changed. So I really hope that, it's a long class this morning. I really hope that you grab something, you learn something, right? I would stay clear of gold for a little while because now this is after news or after this big move. There's fundamentals that could, really affect what's going on because now all of a sudden everybody want a piece of gold. I see somebody post something that gold over 4 billion contracts and some nonsense. Now all of a sudden everybody want a FOMO, right? And say, well, gold selling, so let me sell it now. Listen, Warren Buffett said, invest when everybody is afraid to invest and be afraid when people want to invest. Now people want to hop on board with gold sells. Listen, we sit on our hands now. This is how you trade Forex, my friends. And if you don't know how this operates, it's because you're one of the persons who is in the losing circle. Right? I hope that this made sense to you. I hope you grabbed something from this. I know that I can be very abrasive sometimes, but I think by now you all should understand that, I've been doing this for far too long to fall for these traps. All right? I'm okay with losing. And the beautiful thing is if I lose, trust me, I'm not losing anything close to what I stand to win. And I believe that you need to be a little cocky. You need to be a little proud about your craft when you're this good. Right? So, yeah. Other than that, guys, if there aren't any questions, I'm not going to analyze any other pairs for the day. Maybe tonight, I'm depending. Right. But yeah, my next class will be 7 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time tonight, unless I say otherwise. Yeah, if you are going to be taking any trades today, please practice proper stop loss placement, proper risk management. I highly advise against doing anything on gold right now. If you're in anything, my advice is to trail it very aggressively, right? Because you never know what could happen. Listen, don't be surprised if gold just shoot up, because it's trying to get rid of people who are going to try to take advantage of the sell liquidity now. Don't be surprised if gold just shoots up, right?